Hello, boys and girls. It's Mr. Morton with your multiplying fractions by a whole number. This is lesson number 12. So we're going to start with just a simple multiplication problem. 3 times 5 equals 15. And we're going to look at this 3 different ways. We're going to say it, we're going to write it, and we're going to show it. And another word for show, which we have learned, is area model. Today we're going to learn that we say 3 groups of 5. The first factor is always going to be your groups. So we have 3 groups. Your second factor is going to be how many are in each group, and there are 5. And we're going to write it 3 times 5. And just how we said it, 3 groups of 5, when we do an area model or we show it, we're going to have 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3, and within each group we have 5, in this case stars, or 5 objects. And 3 times 5 is 15. So we're going to work with today fractions, multiplying a whole number by a fraction, and we have 4 times 3/4. Again, we're going to say it, we're going to write it, and we're going to show it. And when we show it, area model. So we say we have 4 as our first factor, so we have 4 groups times 3/4. So in each group we have 3/4. So we write it 4 times 3/4, and we're going to show it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and within each we have 3/4. So 1, 2, 3/4 in each of the groups. So we have written it 4 times 3/4. We have set it for groups of 3/4, and we have shown it with an area model. We'll write the answer 2 different ways. One way we get 12/4, which is an improper fraction. And then we get a whole number in this case, which happens to be 3. So we're going to take our area model, and I'm going to show you how to turn this area model into either an improper fraction or into some cases a mixed number, other cases a whole number like we have here. So we're going to go to our very last group of 3/4. I'm going to take out one box. I've used it, and I'm going to add it into another group. I'm going to take another 1/4, add it to this group. I'm going to take the last 1/4, and I'm going to add it to this group. We have used all of our 3/4 from the 4th group. So that group is completely done. When we shaded in the last 1/4 in our first 3 groups, it created a hole. 1, 2, 3 holes. And there's how we get our 3 holes. To get our improper fraction, I'm going to erase all the work that we just did. I'm going to have my 4 groups of 3/4. There's 1 group of 3/4, 2 groups of 3/4, 3 groups of 3/4, and 4 groups of 3/4. I'm now going to count all of my fourths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 12 becomes our numerator. And I'm going to look at one group, and it's split into 4 parts, and that is our denominator. So that's how we get our improper fraction of 12/4. All right, let's see it again. I have 3 times 2/4. We say 3 groups, it's our first factor, of 2/4. So we have 2/4 objects in each group. We're going to write it 3 times 2/4. And we're going to show it in an area model as having 3 groups, 1, 2, 3 groups, with 2/4 in each group. So we're going to answer this problem 3 times 2/4 in 2 different ways. I'm going to start this time with the improper fraction, which is probably your best bet and the easiest bet. So we have our first group. It is split 4 ways. That's my denominator. I'm not going to count all of the shaded pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is my numerator. So the first way to answer it in an improper fraction is 6/4. We're going to write it a second way. In the second way, you go to your last group, and I'm going to take out 1/4, and I'm going to add it to the first group. I'm going to take out another 1/4, and I can also add that to the first group. I have used up all of my 1/4s in the last group. I now have 1 whole, which we see here, and I have 1, 2/4. So I have 1 and 2/4. Some of you probably looked at, we will write the answer in 2 different ways and realize that in this case, we can simplify our mixed number 1 and 2/4, and it's the same thing as 1 1/2. Now you're going to try this one on your own, 4 times 2/3. Remember, you're going to say it, you're going to write it, and you're going to show it using an area model.